Hello, world. Welcome to another IC109 podcast.
You're at 109 right now.
Indeed, you are. And within the past 30 days, I did some things. And where is the Crank Lucas file that I'm looking for so I can play? Oh, there it is right there. One of the things I did is I contacted a very talented hip hop artist, musician, music maker, lyricist, and I told him my story, and then he created this lovely track.
I can see it everywhere I go. I can see it everywhere I go.
Oh
Is
yeah.
it just me? I don't know. But it's a message from God for sure. Leaving home broke, landing somewhere that's exotic. Your mind starts looking for the meaning in the product.
I'm gonna bring it down a little bit and talk over it. What I want to do with this episode is do the same thing I've done so many times before. But what's new and different about this one, about this time? Nothing. It's all the same. Just doing it one more time, one more again, because 10-9 means repeat. Shout out to Uncle Joe, he told me that. I was in class the other day, and I was writing down, I was trying to be as meticulous as possible. I went back to, let me see, there's so many things I want to tell you in this moment. Number one, the conclusion that I arrived at as a teacher being in the classroom is that I have influence. I've noticed that influence. I've seen the students respond. In particular, I think the students have taken a liking to the North Face brand. I've seen more students wearing the North Face brand, and I think I'm responsible for that. I think I am, because I wear the North Face like almost every day, and standing in front of the students every day, they're like, okay, this dude keeps wearing the North Face, it must be good. I think they put two and two together. I wear North Face sweatshirts, I wear backpacks, and the logo is very prominent, so it's just like, it's overload on their brain. So I think I'm influencing them like that. That's one thought right there. The other thought is that when I'm sitting in these classrooms, this time around, I wanted to be as meticulous as possible. So I went to my archives. I went to Google, my email address, my email account, as well as my calendar. And what's beautiful is that all of my travels, because I linked them or updated my calendar with them, I can go back in time and I can see exactly where I was in the world according to my reservations, flight, hotel reservations, all that stuff. It's all on Google. That's the second thought, which is beautiful. I got all that. I mean, I've been ripping and running back and forth through the whole world, and I have my itineraries basically, or at least I can access them. That's beautiful. So to that end, what I did is I was sitting in class one day, last week before last or so. I didn't date the document, or when I was writing this, I didn't date it. That's sad. I should have been more meticulous in doing that. Anyhow, maybe what I did on another page. Nope, it doesn't look like it. So this was just a spur of the moment sort of thing in the classroom where I was focusing on my story. Not that I am not discontent with the products that I've already created. Nah, it's just that the story lives in me, and perhaps the time to actually have the most impact through telling the story, that might be years from now. And this is all practice, this is developing the skill of telling the story. So I was sitting down and I used the Google dates and times and etc. to pinpoint those moments when I was like, oh, I remember that. I remember that happening. I remember this thing happening, so forth and so on. And I'm going to run it down. I'm going to run it back. So I'm going to do it as quickly as possible. In 2007, I learned that 10/9 is a national holiday in South Korea. In 2013, see, there's a lot of time. That's 6 years that passed. That was the first time I went to Tokyo, Japan. On that trip, I went to Shibuya, Ichimaru-kyu. I met Hina. She was working at the Baby Shoop store, and sadly, the Baby Shoop store has closed in recent years. Within the last 5 years, it closed. But that was an incredible shop, and I was able to go there, buy some things from my niece, and I have some fond memories of that experience of meeting Hina and her friends. Okay. The following year, 2014, I was in Culver City applying for jobs at the Starbucks in Culver City. The Starbucks in Culver City no longer exists, or maybe they're renovating it. I think it no longer exists. I think Starbucks moved out. Last time I was there, several weeks ago, they were redesigning it, renovating it, doing something else. It did not look like Starbucks at all, and something else was going to be there. That's what it looked like. Anywho, I was there. I was applying for a job. I was actually interviewed while I was there at the Starbucks. I was sitting there with my computer being interviewed using their Wi-Fi, and I got the job. Yay, I got the job. The job was located in the sister city of Culver City. So that little tidbit of connection, it's a tasty morsel. Like, wow, that's interesting. You got hired at the sister city, or you were in the sister city of the city that you. Let me see. I was in the sister city of the city in which I was hired, and completely unbeknownst to me, I had no idea until I got to Korea, and I was trying to do some research on where the heck am I? What is this city? And then it said Culver City, California is the sister city, and I was blown away. Like, stop playing, man. What? Okay. In 2015, the following year, I went to Japan, October 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. I was in Japan on those dates. I had taken many other trips throughout 2013, 14, and 15 to Japan, but it was my birthday, and I went to Japan to celebrate. So I was there October 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Now I couldn't get to Japan on my birthday, so it was the weekend before my birthday that I was celebrating my birthday. So that's why those dates are such as they are. Anyhow, when I was in Japan in 2015 around my birthday, I distinctly remember being seated at seat number 10 at Ichiran Ramen Restaurant. I also recall on the day that I left, which had to have been October 6th, when I left Japan, I boarded Japan Ferry 109. And then when I got to Korea, I needed to board the train, the KTX, and I purchased my ticket, and my seat assignment was in row 10. So there I was thinking about my, what is that called? I was thinking about my birthday because it was coming up October 9th. So I was trying to celebrate my birthday one weekend prior to my birthday. And these moments where I went to the restaurant, I rode the ferry, I rode the train, they stuck out for me because they were reminders that my birthday was coming. The 10, the 10-9, the 10, It was just hitting. Another memory, when I got back to Korea, I was walking around the university campus where I worked, and I saw a license plate that had 10 and 9 on it. 10 Sa 9040. Sa is Korean. Shiot O in Korean. Those are the letters, the characters. So Shipsa Ku Gong Sa Gong. If you're Korean and understand that, then cool. All right, so that was 2015. Now, something that was curious about 2015 is that it was the year that I was born according to the Chinese zodiac. That was my birth year, and so I'm the year of the lamb, or the ram, or the sheep, or the goat. I don't know which one to call it, but sometimes I've seen it the year of the lamb, ram, sheep, or goat. I don't know. I can't call it. But what happened to me in 2015? I guess I actually was searching for omens, like searching for just like some cool little details. Um, my buddy Justin was in the Philippines when I was in the Philippines, which was a cool coincidence, and he gave me the courage, the confidence to travel to El Nido, to the island of Palawan, because he told me about it. He said, "Man, if you're in the Philippines, you should go over there and do this and that." And I was like, "Okay." So I just listened. I was like, "All right, I got it. I got the assignment. I'm gonna do it." So there I was in the Philippines, and I was just checking things out. So what I'm saying is I had a beautiful experience in the Philippines, partly because I had a friend there, and he shared his travel experience with me, and it taught me. He informed me of what was possible in the Philippines. And even though I was there alone, um, no, the fact that I was there alone meant that I was going to make some mistakes as a solo traveler. Like the hotel that I booked was like too expensive. When I talked with my buddy Justin, he was like, "I'm staying at a hostel for like $15 a night, man. You should come over here." I'm like, "Man, I got this place over here for like $80 a night, and they've got roaches in here." It was all bad. So I went over there to the hostel, and it was really decent, you know. So I really appreciated him informing me of what was possible. But anyhow, when I stayed at the hostel, they had tours, and I booked one of the tours. So I went on a tour to Taal volcano, and volcano had not erupted in 20 some odd years or so. And so it was a tourist site, tourist location. So there I was in 2015. I felt comfortable visiting this local tourist attraction that hadn't tourist attraction that is a volcano, but it's been dormant for like 20 some years or whatever. I felt comfortable, right? Well, in 2020, 2021 or something, that volcano erupted. Yeah. So I wasn't there when it erupted, but dormant though it may have been, that's an active volcano. There were signs. There were signs of how active the volcano was. Like you could look in the water and you could see like bubbling. You could see the water bubbling up, and not only could you see it, it's not like I didn't go down to the water. I was on the ridge. I was up top. I was probably maybe, I want to say like a mile away from the water. That might be too extreme a distance, but I was so far away from the water, but there were so many bubbles. You could literally see it in the water, like, oh my gosh, like something's happening there. So there were indications that just because it was dormant didn't mean that, hey, something wasn't going to happen eventually. Anywho, as I was climbing up the mountain, I saw a goat. I saw a goat. I took a picture of the goat, and this was confirmation. This was a reference to my birth year happening in my birth year. So it was like that was a unique thing to see. It might not have been. It might have just been a very common thing to see, But when I saw that goat in the year of the goat, as I was going up Ta'al volcano, I was like, that's a sign. I took a picture of the goat. I have that picture somewhere in my files. Never forget that. I spent a lot of time talking about that 2015 and those events. So and I've got so many more years because I got to bring you all the way up to 2025. But anyway, let's keep it going. 2017, I was traveling the world as I did, as I sometimes do when I have money and time. March 31st, 2017, I arrived in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. In 2017, I traveled to 17 countries. At the time, I was living in Saudi Arabia. I was earning $6,000 a month tax-free. Basically, I was earning, I collected, put in my account $6,000 per month. Okay. Beautiful experience. I was teaching English for a military contract, part of Donald Trump, his first term in office. Anywho, 17 countries, one of them included Ethiopia, and the day that I arrived in Ethiopia was March 31st, 2017. Put a pin in that detail. March 31st, 2017, I arrived in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, okay, for the very first time. All right, so I didn't have any 10-9 moments during my trip to Ethiopia, but in the year of 2017, I had several memorable moments with 10-9 in other countries. In Mexico, I had gone to the Frida Kahlo's Blue House, La Casa Azul, where my taxi driver or my Uber driver who delivered me, who took me to the Blue House, he was listening to 100.9 on the FM dial in Mexico City. I learned later that that's a very popular radio station, so it was kind of common. But for me, it was really special. It's like, hey, good radio station in Mexico, right? I took a picture to commemorate that moment, arriving at the Frida Kahlo Museum and my Uber driver listening to 100.9 FM on the FM dial. That was cool. All right. In Cuba in 2017, I learned that Che Guevara died on October 9th. And he died in 1967, so that was 12 years before I was born. But the idea that he was one of the leaders of the Cuban Revolution. I was in Cuba when I learned that detail. That really made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. They gave me goosebumps. Like, I'm in the country where he led the revolution, and I'm learning about a 10-9 connection. And yeah, to him, to a very powerful, person. Like, wow, that was just crazy. So learning that the leader of the Cuban Revolution, or just learning that a leader in the country where I am physically, present, has a connection with 10-9, that just made for my reason for traveling to be so much more special. It seemed to me like, I'm not just traveling for vanity purposes, vanity reasons. I'm literally connecting the dots throughout history, and I'm developing a story related to these numbers, but also these lives, kind of like Cloud Atlas, that movie by the Wachowski brothers. It's the same lives throughout time, kind of a thing. It's like 10-9 has existed throughout time, and literally it does, because I'm telling you from a story, telling you of events from 2007 to 2025, but in another sense, I don't know, 10-9 just keeps coming up. All right. So anyway, then I was in Peru. I hiked up Machu Picchu. Kind of not really, but while I kind of not really summited Machu Picchu at exactly 10:09 a.m. That's not exactly the story. I got up there and I looked around and I was, killing some time, enjoying the views. I ate an apple. I might have talked with some other foreigners, got some pictures taken. And by the time I had done all of that, I asked myself, well, what else am I going to do atop this mountain? That's when I looked at my watch. So after I had been up there a number of minutes, I looked at my watch and I wondered, well, what the heck do I do now? I checked the time. It was 10:08. And I thought, wow, that's perfect timing. So that means I should go down the mountain in 1 minute. Like, yeah, because my number's 10:09. So if I descend the mountain at 10:09, then my arrival at Machu Picchu was that much more special. There, I have another 10:09 moment. There I was atop Machu Picchu. And so that experience was interesting. And I thought about it. I thought, man, my cousin told me that the spirits were going to talk to me if I went to Machu Picchu. And so, although I didn't hear anyone, although there was nothing, no one spoke to me, no spirits, whispered in my ears, and I didn't get that experience. The fact that my arrival, my summiting Machu Picchu, close to or around those numbers, that 10:09, or the fact that my summiting of Machu Picchu was in alignment with 10:09 in some sort of way, I deduced that the spirits have always been talking to me, always been communicating to me through these numbers, 10:09. That was the conclusion I arrived at. So atop Machu Picchu, I got it. And it was like, wow, my cousin was right. The spirits will talk to you. It may not be in the way that you expect them to. It's not like there's a voice that says, hey, I'm the spirit. Welcome to Machu Picchu. Are you hungry? Are you tired? You want something to drink? No, the spirit's not going to talk to you like that. It's going to be something different. And it was something different. So basically, in 2017, it was clear to me that these moments with 10:09 were not just random coincidences, but they had taken on a greater significance. I mean, they took on a greater significance after 2015 when I saw the goat in my year. I mean, let's go back to that story. I'm climbing up this volcano and I see the goat on the way up. I had been walking around the streets of Manila. I had been in Palawan, gone to El Nido, and either I hadn't paid attention to goats or I hadn't seen any goats. And there I was climbing the mountain, climbing the volcano, and there was that goat. And it was like, that goat really got my attention. So if there were other goats around, I didn't notice them. But going up that volcano, yeah, I noticed that goat. So that just adds to a level of mystery, a level of just like, wow, wonder and spirituality. Like, dang, these moments were in alignment. In 2017, the last event, that I remember in 2017 is that in Saudi Arabia, I was waiting for a cab, and the cab that arrived to pick me up had license plate number 109. Those were the first 3 digits, and then the rest of the digits. So that was like, whoa. Because the taxi just before that taxi that went to the passenger who was standing in line before me had a completely different number. And then the taxi before them, a completely different number. So by the time I was matched with a taxi, it was incredible that taxi's license plate was 109 something. It was just like, that's bizarre. But there it was happening again. I need to go back. In 2013, and I believe 2015, these are 2 years during which I visited Nagasaki and Hiroshima, respectively. And those are important trips. I need to use the restroom and take a break. Peace.